1900 hours on the dot, and I'm sat here waiting to go. Look at that. See, I can do it sometimes. And yes, Chris, I am using OBS. So thank you very much for that. And some of you eagle-eyed viewers may realise that we've lost a little bit of resolution on the top here. But I'll talk about that in just a moment, because actually, speaking about using OBS, it could mean that my fellow patrons who are helping support this channel may see some improvements coming very soon. And let me give a quick shout out to the patrons that I do have at the moment, which are 3rd tier and above. And we start off with Reese, and we also have Tim and Wayne. Thank you very much. Your names go screaming across the bottom there, as and when it decides to. Yeah, we've lost a little resolution here, because I'm using OBS, and it seems to help with the CPU of the channel. I've downgraded one of my cameras. And the reason for that is, and I need to do a little bit of wiggling around, so I just need to get used to this OBS. But if you see, I've managed to build my stuff reasonably, as I had it. If we just quickly switch to this, which I don't need to use my mouse anymore, because I can do it all on my keyboard. We can see I've got my other high-end camera over there, and I just need to do a little bit of a wiggly thing going on here. There we go, look at that. So overall I have 4 cameras in here. You see a pic, you know, yes you do. So I've got it over there. I've currently got a camera pointing at a Mephitic Blight Hauler that has been built. A video on the way about that, and that is currently over in my airbrush booth. Now I can't film anything over there, but the whole point is that that camera is actually the wide camera, the an HD webcam that I use for my table view when me and Reese play Kill Team every other Tuesday. Excuse me. So that's over there. And this camera that you can see just here is an old, theoretically HD camera that is perfectly situated for a dice cam. So if I, get used to where my hotkeys are, I do have to fiddle around with this a little bit just to remember which camera's where. And it doesn't like loading up. There we go, loading up all of my cameras as and when I'm using them. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I like the way this goes. And actually, speaking of that, Chris, about the picture, just here, they're switching across here. If you're watching along and you want to get your pictures up here so everybody else can see them as well, pop your pictures onto my Facebook page using the hashtag #BeOfOPSLive if you wish. And if it's a conquest model, as you can see some of those are, we also use B of OPS Conquest just there. And in the description of your picture, if you have a Instagram account, let me know what it is and you'll get pictured on my story. Pictured isn't the right word, but you know what I mean, on my Instagram story, much like Chris did just there. So, yeah, this is an hour. I'm already 5 minutes into it, but this will be an hour show. There's no format to it. I just figured I'm on my own in the house for a little while. Well, technically for another 40 minutes or so, but yeah, I'm on myself, and I thought, well, I'll stick the cameras on, check out this OBS, see how it works. But also, we'll just chill. I might grab, you can see I've got a few Gene Stealer cultists over here, so I might pop a little bit of paint on those that I'm working on for myself. Other than that, I'm here. You can have a chat, talk to me about the stream, talk to me about ideas you might have, or just generally have a chat. Ask me some questions. Maybe there's something you want to know about. Other than that, I'm just gonna chill, pretty much. What I do want to do though, actually, is while I'm on here, I just want to change the camera from the camera that I've got there, and we'll change it to that one there, just so that we've got a nice big shot. I do need to fiddle around with things because not everything's working exactly where it should be. There we go, that's a bit better. And my ticker isn't working properly, my viewers. Got enough paint handles? You say that. Got another one there. I've got 5 in total, and with the Conquest magazine I'll have 6. But then I have just finished building a blight hauler, which means that I'm gonna want to change. I'm gonna want a big one, one of the new ones. I might pick a couple of those up. Just because you can't have enough painting handles, especially when you've got lots of work to do. I mean, you're painting all sorts of different things, and sometimes I might get a little bit bored, or if I've got my own stuff on the go, show off. I might have my own stuff, and then I've got, a client wants me to paint something, so, I want to put those on painting handles as well. To be honest, it's one of those products, actually, that GW have sold. I mean, I've seen plenty of other people sell painting handles, and there are many out there. But it's one of those products that GW do that actually is a reasonable price. What's this? Oh, actually, I'm going to minimize that. I'm currently trying to convert some video files because OBS didn't record the videos that my movie maker will actually edit in. So there we go. I stuck to one. Well, yeah, I mean, you could get by with one. I mean, you can swap and change the models easy enough, but when you're trying to crack out 5 models in as short a time as possible, it's always having 5 of them sat there, and you just pick up the individual handles. So I'm a bit confused as to why my viewer counter isn't working. It's I don't know what's going on there. It's really not working properly at all, is it? It's telling me I've got nobody watching. I know I can see on my chat bot that I've got 3. Yeah, I found out I could change the format after I'd recorded it, and I'd already built the model and everything. So it was hopefully I'm going to be doing a video for the blight hauler, and unfortunately I recorded it and then realised that Movie Maker wouldn't accept the file format, which was a bit of a pain in the butt, but there's not really a lot I could do about it after I'd already recorded it. Short of actually building up, short of actually going out and buying another blight hauler. So oh, there's a chat from the Patreon. I don't need to worry about any of that. Let's just turn the volume down on my phone. There we go. Don't want that to keep pinging all the time. But yeah, other than that, right, let's pop that back out of the way because I don't want that right now. So yeah, I've got all sorts of videos planned, but basically I'm just trying to figure out how the best way to record this stuff so that I can get some more non-live videos. I was doing it, when I had a bit of downtime, and I had plenty of videos that I could do, and I was getting them out and cranking them out, and they were fairly simple videos as well. But after a while, it starts getting on top of you, and you realise that recording and editing videos takes a long time. So I'm just playing around with video recording so that I can minimise the amount of editing I can do. The trouble is that there are times when you're painting a model and you've literally got to let the paint dry, and there's nothing worse than watching paint dry. So trying to figure out the best way of painting and being able to record and reduce the recording times. It's or editing time. So that's what I was planning on doing, and it seems to have worked pretty well, apart from the format of the video. By changing the format of the video, which I do have a file converter, so I can do it. But it messes around with the screen resolution, and even the audio doesn't sync up sometimes. So yeah, we're figuring it out. I'm figuring it out, and we'll get there. But on the upside, if this OBS thing works out, and if I just stream to YouTube for the time being, which is what I seem to be doing, I can stop paying for my XSplit, which means that the Patreon funds that I get every month from, you know, all the lovely supporters of the channel, I can then reinvest that into the channel, so we can then start, rather than paying out, you know, every month for things like that, which is where, you know, Patreon funds go, I can, you know, invest it into better equipment and stuff. So hopefully, so for argument's sake, that I want to change. I want to change this camera as quick as possible, because I don't like that. I'd upgraded to these HD cameras, and then I've had to downgrade a little bit, just because the cameras that I do need to be in decent condition is this one here, so you can see what I'm doing on the table, and then the big wide shot that we do for my games, that needs to be done. I've said, but yeah, you can. I've got one knocking around somewhere, a hairdryer. I'm not sure where it's gone at the minute. I can speed up the trouble is, when you're using a hairdryer, you know, especially if you're using wash, for argument's sake, once you've put a wash on it, you know, letting it dry nice and slow, it gives you time to keep an eye on for pooling. Whereas if you use a hairdryer on that, if you've put on a little bit too much, which, you know, everybody does, you could end up causing it to dry in a big gelatinous lump, which never is any good. I do use a hairdryer sometimes, but then when you're talking about things like texture paint and your washers, it can be quite difficult to speed that up. So there's a balance there somewhere, and I've just got to find it. I've got to find it where, you know, stop it. You see, the thing is, stopping a video while you're waiting for paint to dry is fine, because it's like a natural edit point. You know, you don't sit there letting the camera roll, watching paint dry, but so you can, you know, butt those two videos up next to each other, stick a transition in there, and, you know, you're good to go, you know, once you restart the what's it. But it's a case of what I have been doing is, for argument's sake, and I mean, Wayne, bless him, he's been waiting for ages for this, is I've got a Poxwalker here that I did start a video for, which is, and so far on the channel you've got the pale skin so far. This model itself has already been recorded to having all his entrails and all those tentacle bits and the horns. I've recorded it, you know, and I've even edited it, to be honest with you. It's just a case of now I've got to record my intro and outro and then narrate over the whole thing, and I painted this weeks ago. I can't remember what I wanted to say. So it's a real issue there, because, you know, that's kind of by the wayside. And the other thing as well, what takes so long, is currently I've been stopping and starting the video after every single colour, because I'll put a colour down, I'll wait for it to dry and then move on. But for a tutorial it kind of works, because, you know, I'm doing a certain part of the model, but I also wanted the tutorials to be about the whole model, and not just like Warhammer TV, where it's just like, right, what we're going to do is we're going to edge highlight, and this is how you edge highlight this bit, and then we'll cut and all the edge highlighting's finished. I wanted you to see the whole thing come together, so you can see where all of the edge highlighting goes on, And it's, you know, it's a balancing act because it takes a long time to record those. You can speed it up, but and then once I've done, you know, one colour, I'll stop and then I'll start again, and then that all needs editing together, and then trying to do that and then narrate over the whole thing when it's done. It was just dragging out. It's a long time. It took me a week to do one video, so yeah. So we're figuring out. I'm figuring out. I'm going to try and narrate over it while I'm doing it, and possibly when I'm doing these videos, I'll just paint the model like I would do. You know, I don't necessarily wait for paint to dry before I move on to something else. I just paint something else while it's drying. You know, for argument's sake, take these guys. For argument's sake, the wash on the white bits. If we bring this up, it doesn't autofocus very well, but on the white here. I'd washed it with Seraphim Sepia, and then I started painting the metallics on there, you know, before the wash had even dried, you know, because I didn't need to wait for the wash to dry because I'm moving on to something else. And that's why you like stuff, yeah, you like to stuff live, yeah, because it does. I mean, it flows a bit better, and you can talk and you can wait, and also when you're waiting for things to dry, you can have a chat and you can do things. So even with these, if I do, I mean, we're 15 minutes in now, and we'll see what happens. But when I paint these guys, you know, I'm going to do some yellow, and then while I'm waiting for the yellow to dry, I'm going to do something else. Well, that's even if it's not live, you know. Even after I've stopped recording, I'll just, you know, get cracking on with a bit of painting, and that's just how it's done, you know. You don't paint one section of the model at a time. You do all of it at the same time. So it might be the direction that the channel goes in, but the trouble is that would mean that I'm teaching people to paint how I paint. So there's a fine line there, because I don't want to tell people that you have to paint the way I do, because, you know, you might not like my stuff. It's, you know, it's perfectly reasonable not to like my painting. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. Reese offered to teach you to improve your painting today. Yeah, she's good. Reese is a great painter. Everything she does is by hand, which is brilliant. I mean, if you've seen the nights and things that she's painted, you know, I use an airbrush because it's quicker, and I get a nice smooth finish. I can't get the kind of finish that I get from Reese, and she's fantastic at edge highlighting as well. Speaking of Reese, actually, what I could do is give her a bit of a shout out, where you can find Reese on her Instagram down at the bottom here, at Chick Paints on Instagram. If you don't already follow her, feel free. And that was clever, they both disappeared at the same time. You'd love an airbrush, we can't afford one. Yeah, I did do a video about airbrushing, or at least I spoke about airbrushing. I think it was the basics of airbrushing. I think you should find it on the channel somewhere. I'm very careful not to tell people how to spend their money and how to paint. You know, it's all very personal, and the techniques that you use and the equipment you use. But the one thing I will say about airbrushes is never buy a cheap one, because, you know, and I said it all in the video, I bought cheap when I first started. It nearly put me off airbrushing completely. It was a dreadful mistake that I made there. Yeah, never buy a cheap airbrush. It's one of those bits of equipment that you really don't buy cheap. Your knight was painted by hand. That's fantastic. Lots of flow improver, or did you use just water? That's something else Reese will tell you as well. Flow improver. Fantastic stuff. If I didn't use a wet palette, that's how I would paint. But I'm a wet palette user, so if I thin my paint anymore, then it'll just make a mess in my palette. You know what I could do actually is if I change this now to there. What I could do is rather than sitting there with let's put something I hadn't considered. There we go, that's what I want. There we go, look at that. Let's pop me down here. There we go. I'm down there now. See what this is where people start using things like green screens, isn't it? So their heads in the shot, but the rest of it isn't. Just water and a little Lamia medium. Ah, yeah, fair enough. Although using water and Lamia medium seems a bit of overkill, personally. But there we go. That's what I mean. Hey, Wayne, welcome to the show. You made it back in time. What's been happening? To be honest with you, we're just chilling and chatting. I was just about to paint a little bit of my Gene Steeler coats down here, but other than that, I'm not really doing a lot. We've just been talking. What we've been talking about? We've been talking about the show. Actually, there's some things you might notice. Actually, if I bring it back here, no, I do need to remember where my quick watches are. You might notice that the resolution's a little bit dodgy here, and that's because I've changed my cameras. I've got 4 cameras set up in this house now using OBS. We're changing the OBS so I don't need to be paying for XSplit anymore. So, and that's what the first 10 minutes was about discussing, and then we're just having a chat. So let's change it to there. There we go. Look at that. Whee! I'm down the bottom now. Brilliant. Yeah, you convert me to OBS. To be honest, yeah, I did want to give it a try. I did think, yeah, well, give it a go. Let's see what happens, and see how it goes. And my computer's fine. It's well, it seems to be. According to this, I'm using 5.6% of my CPU, which is it's fantastic. I mean, we're still going to buy a new rig because I need to get better graphics so that I can get more of these HD cameras set up. But other than that, yeah. Essentially, Wayne, I'll tell you what. I'll cut through the rubbish for you. Is better encoder equals more options. Done. Welcome back, Wargamer Viking. I wondered where you'd gone. I did say hello. So let's move this camera a little bit. I don't know if it's going to focus. The trouble is I would have to turn it off. Chris, me and Chris had a little bit of a chat earlier. I'd have to turn it off to set up the focus, but it does seem to be focusing all right. Doesn't seem to be too bad. They're not terribly in focus. I think the focus point is pretty much where I'm going to be painting, so... You went for a bath. Alright, fair enough. So yeah, I think I'm just going to sit here and just do a bit of painting. And if you got any comments, suggestions, chat, feel free. I'll keep an eye on the chat that's going on down here. I do realise though that camera's in a really weird position. I mean, maybe I can paint via the camera and look at the screen while I'm doing it. No viewer number on the top. No, you know what? Actually, come to think of it, I want to sort that out because according to my chat bot, I've got 2 people watching, which I know is not true because I've got 3 of you at least talking to me right now. I'm surprised Tim hasn't jumped up in the chat actually. But you see, this is the thing, right? When I was using XSplit yesterday, I would never have dreamed about doing this. I'm now about to open up my open up this, and go into Streamlabs while I'm here. No, it broke. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look. What are those? Are you on about what's on the screen, Wayne? Because it's Gene Stealer Colts from the Kill Team box. I'm just playing around with them. Let's have a look. See if I can save. If I save the changes there. There we go. That changes. All right. So I don't know what went wrong there, but just saving the changes, even though I didn't make any changes, seems to have fixed it. So there we go. What we got? What are my opinions on the Space Marine Blind Hero boxes? I kind of like them. It goes back to the old days when everybody's you know, everybody likes blind bags, don't you? It's that thrill of collecting everything. You know, I mean, admittedly, you've only got, what is it, 11 models to collect. So there's not much to it, and you would end up having a lot of duplicates. I mean, it harks back to the days, you know, when I was a kid, and I think they still happen. Is all the old Pokemon cards and stuff, wouldn't you? You get loads of blind bags of those things and Pogs and all sorts, and you'd swap them, and you'd take them to school, and you'd swap them with your mates and all that sort of stuff. Which I like that, and for having blind hero boxes, yeah, I kind of like it. Only I'm not sure if there's much of a tradability to them, and I'm sure when you get enough of one, you might start thinking, I'm collecting like 6 guys with, you know, with the same guy with a bolter, you know, and I'm not so sure. I like the idea, I'm just not sure if it hits the mark for me. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, I haven't bought any yet myself. I do want to nip out and buy some. But they're fantastic as well if you want, like, especially this time of year, little stocking fillers. I mean, I might grab a couple for my daughter who's taken an interest in painting. I'll grab her a couple of them and throw them in a stocking, which, you know, it might be Streamlabs if that's what I'm using. May just need a refresh. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I went into it and just went to the viewer counter and just saved changes, even though I didn't make any changes. Then it seemed to have worked. So yeah. Need to change the angle of the face camera, I think, because I'm looking over here now. I'll disappear out of sight. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I've had the Kill Team box since shortly after it was released. I didn't buy it when it was released. May have been a week or two afterwards. I'm just about getting around to painting the Gene Stealer Colts that were in the box. So that's what we're doing now. Just adding a bit of yellow to these guns. I think it might look quite nice. I imagine, I don't really know much about Gene Stealers, but or at least the Colts, but I imagine most of their equipment is industrial stuff, or at least the way that they're selling them. So I'm going to start adding sort of like, you know, industrial yellow and maybe even some chevrons to them. Sell you on Kill Team. To be honest, Kill Team's the best game. Kill Team's the best game that I think GW have released. Certainly in my opinion. And definitely the best game that they've released this year. You know, it's... The fact is, I mean, I've said it all before. The ability to pick up a box of models and play a game with them. I mean, that in itself I mean, yeah, you can spend a lot of money on Kill Team, getting everything, getting all of the expansions and all the boxes and all of the armies that come with it. But at the end of the day, if you've got a specific army you'd like, the ability just to go around and picking up one box of miniatures and actually playing an entire game with them. Yeah, okay, it might not be the most powerful or the most balanced, but it's definitely definitely a big selling point for me. What brushes do I use? I use Winsor & Newton Series 7s. Now, admittedly, they're not perfect. Some of what people say about Series 7s, about their quality control isn't perfect. And just general, my brush care isn't perfect. But I bought a gift box of 4 Winsor & Newton brushes, and I must admit, I've never regretted it. One thing I do remember is the very first time I started using Winsor & Newton brushes. One thing I did say to myself is I never understood what people meant by the flow of a brush, of paint flow. I started using Series 7s and I understood what it meant. So yeah. Have I had a Conquest delivery yet? No, not yet. I wouldn't start worrying until this weekend. So far, my conquest models have always turned up. My Conquest deliveries have always turned up on a Monday morning, or if I'm lucky, the Saturday before. So with any luck, I might have a Conquest delivery dropping through my door at the weekend. But yeah, that's pretty much what's happened for me in the past. Definitely got to think about where I'm putting my cameras though, because this model is miles away from my face. What are we going to do? Let's do a yellow band around here as well. Yeah, that breaks it up a bit. Don't be a doomsayer, but if it hasn't arrived in time, what is the plan for Monday? Oh, oh man. Now that is a question. What is the plan for Monday? Maybe another speed painting. No, I don't want to do that. That would be a very interesting question. Yeah, I don't know. What do I do? If it doesn't arrive on time, what am I gonna do? I would say have a night off, but that doesn't sit very well with me. I'd be open to suggestions. Need a smaller brush for that hand flamer, I think. Have I got any Conquest stuff knocking about? As a note, the Blightspawn in issue 12 comes with a plastic 12-inch range roller. Any mention of it anywhere, as I have not seen any. No, I haven't. I haven't seen anything about it. In fact, I threw the covers away. But you did. Oops. You did mention that, didn't you, at the end of the show? I think or either that or in the Patreon chat. Yeah, I haven't seen anything about that. It wasn't until somebody had actually took a picture of it. It's the looking at it, it looks like it's the same 12-inch range roller as what's in Dark Imperium, which is kind of cool. I like that. I've already got one for the Conquest from Kill Team, but having the Dark Imperium one's pretty cool. It's a copy of the roller from 40k, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until somebody had actually put a picture of it. Yeah, the bags before didn't show it. No, it didn't, and I'm surprised, because when you look at the range ruler that you get with the cardboard playmat, you have to cut your rulers off from the side. It's not right. But yeah, it's interesting to see that they've put that in there. But one of the other things I noticed as well, and I should be getting it when I get the delivery, is they've sent out all of the little cardboard sleeves for the plastic glue, because this doesn't have all of it. It has operating instructions on the outside of the cardboard that one is supposed to retain for future reference. So yeah, so we're gonna get an empty Citadel cardboard packaging, which I think is hilarious. So because obviously there are going to be people out there that decide to eat the glue. Reminded me, we get to handle this delivery. Is it this week? Is it this one? I don't know. See, the trouble is, I keep this handy. Well, it'd be quicker. I keep this handy, but I keep looking at it and thinking, oh yeah, we get this, but this bit doesn't actually tell me when we get these things, does it? Which is a little bit ridiculous, but yeah. To be honest with you, a lot of this, we've had a lot of the good stuff from the delivery. I mean, we're gonna get a few, paintbrushes, and the little poster. So we get bits and pieces, which is cool. But it's the premium delivery I want to see. I want to see what those boards are. I want to see if they're the same as Kill Team ones or what. What have they done with those? I want to see what happens. But then I want to see what the next one is, to see if they just if they've screwed us with it. So you can't wait for the handle. Dan Shaft says it is. All right, fair. Well, yeah. I mean, brilliant. I'll have 6. It's the 4th delivery. Fab. Wow. We're certainly screaming through them now then. And I said 5th is the first premium delivery. It sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, I think it was the 5th was going to be the premium delivery. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see where they go with it. As I mentioned in the overview as well, I'm looking forward to the way that these folders are going to, the way that the folders are going to end up at the end, because they look to be like they're shaping up to be a really decent source of information. So I'll have 100 handles, please. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind having 10 little ones. But then, having said that, I mean, my painting don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not like some crazy commission person who's got commissions on all the time. But having my painting habits are a little bit more extreme than most. Let's put it that way. And having 10 smaller ones sounds like a good number for me. And I should have plenty of handles knocking around for various projects that are on the go and keeping everything out of the way. And then having a couple of the big ones would probably be handy as well. The small leaflet from number 1 details all the deliveries except for premium. See, I threw the small leaflet away. I didn't really think I was going to need it, but yeah, referring back to it would probably have been handy. And I told you the premium is 5th. Fair enough. I mean, I looked at the website, so it's on all the FAQs. So if I did say that, then it's because I read it on their website. So I definitely didn't make it up. So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because I'm looking forward to the way that this is going to shape up. It's going to take a little bit of time to get there to a decent level where you really see how things are working out, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And if I can get these videos done, I should be able to start painting a lot as well. I'm starting to get behind on the models because I'm not getting the videos done. So. Look at yours and type it out. Send a picture. Grab a picture of it and just post it onto the chat. You got eye products, haven't you? They got decent cameras in them, haven't they? I'd paint those black. I think the gun casings on those. I like to think this is some sort of, what is this? This is some sort of rock demolisher. I imagine that they could, even though it's a weaponized flamer, but they could probably use something like that for an industrial kind of thing. But these two, that's a grenade launcher. There's no way that that's a industrial tool. So I'll paint the gun casing for that in black. And the same for that as well, I think, because that is definitely a weapon of war as well. So we'll do those for now. And I think just popping a little colour on these, just on a show like this, is going to be good enough for me. The 4th is handle, 5th is A2 poster, and 7th is the paintbrush set. Oh, that's interesting. So the fifth delivery, we'll get the Space Marine poster, and we'll get a premium delivery at the same time. That's cool, because I think that A2 poster will fit nice just there, look, right behind me. That might look quite nice. You see, we've got this angle going on here that I need to start thinking about space, you see. Go back to my nice little, my favourite dry brush. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm doing my nice cheap and dirty yellow here. I'm not going to do crazy amounts of detail on these guys. Pop this out. You know what I could probably do? Here we go. Look at this, right? Hang on a minute. What I could probably do... Now this is going to be cool. Let me just bring it up here. Is... If I brought up... If I make a new... a browser... Create a new, and if I do bring this up? Can I scroll through this? Oh, it's not letting me scroll through it. Alright, let's get rid of that. That's not helpful. Where did that go? Let's just remove that. That's not helpful. I was hoping I'd be able to scroll through and you could see it. When will I receive my premium subscription? Your first premium subscription gift will arrive with your delivery of issues. Your first premium subscription gift will arrive with your delivery of issues 15 to 18. So no, it's not the next one. It's issues 15 to 18. Which, what did we just do? We just did number... Oh Christ, no, that's... Where did I get issue number... Where did I get delivery 5 from then? Leaflet also says, as a subscriber, you will also automatically receive any special issues of Warhammer Conquest, and I will have the option to opt out beforehand by email or phone. I don't know. There is a way to do it, but you can't remember how. No, it's fair enough. I'll play around with that. So it's just off the cuff that I decided to do that. So it's 5th delivery. You see, the thing is, this is the thing, isn't it? They're not naming the deliveries, so I don't. Get copies. Subscribing to the collection. Premium subscription, updating the details, other questions. Yeah, I lose track of how many deliveries I've had. So we've had 3 deliveries so far, and that's if you started from issue number 1. Because you got issue number 1, 2, and 3 would have been delivery 1. 4, 5 and 6 I think was delivery number 2. 7, 8, 9 and 10 was number 3. 11, 12, 13 and 14 would have been delivery number 4. So the fourth one is going to be so it'll be the 5th delivery. So I was right, it is the 5th delivery. Oh, it's difficult in my head. I mentioned, quote, as it says, special issues. Yeah, I don't know what special issues they could possibly be, to be honest. Not unless they're going to do some crazy Christmas thing or something, which it doesn't make any sense. Unless, of course, they're going to, special models or something. I really don't know what the special issues would be. 3, because last was a folder. Oh, fair enough. 4th is a handle plus issues. 5th is a poster plus issues. And because we're getting issues number 15 through 18 on the issue delivery number 5, will also be the first premium subscription delivery as well. I mean, obviously, it would eventually, they would double up eventually, wouldn't they? So and then I believe each premium subscription will be the next one will be for 27 through 30, and then every 5th dispatch thereafter, and there are 4 premium ones in total. So they're from their website, plus a free gift with your 3rd, 4th, 5th and 7th deliveries. Did it say on the website about the premium delivery? All the information about the only information I've got is on the, if you go to the Warhammer 40,000 Conquest website, and at the top press the contact. Before they give you any kind of contact information, they give you a whole list of FAQs, and there is a subsection about premium subscription. How does it work? How can I get it? When will I receive my premium subscription gifts? Which is what I was just reading out. and then when I start my subscription, what issue will I start paying the additional 150 from, and how to cancel it. Premium Gay board is a copy of the board from issue number 2, but it looks thicker. Yeah, I mean that's, yeah. You see, this is the thing, isn't it? There's this worry that they're just going to copy and paste all of their, either they're only going to have one gift in each one, where one of them is going to be a board, one of them is going to be your data cards, one of them is going to be whatever else was in the premium subscription. Oh yeah, your tokens, and some special dice. There's 5 in total. There's 5 deliveries, no, 4 deliveries in total. You see, this is the thing that worries me. They say there's 4 deliveries in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope not. That would really suck for £1.50 per issue. So yeah, it's a little bit worrying. Picture in the leaflet. We'll post pictures in the Patreon chat. Yeah, alright, fair enough. And if anybody does wonder what we keep talking about when we talk about Patreon chat, just by being a $1 Patreon, you get an invite to a Facebook chat where we just talk about things. What you get is at the very bottom of the Conquest page. Yeah, absolutely. That bit there. You see, the thing is, if we bring this, if I move these guys here, well, you get at the very bottom of the Conquest page. Oh, do you mean the, yeah, for the premium subscription, it's basically the same picture as that. But the thing is, you see, if I bring it over here, you see, the thing is, collect 4 exclusive premium kits. Each include, now you see, there's the thing, the Conquest storage box, data cards, the Conquest dice, the punch tokens, which are here, and heavy duty playmat. You see, the thing is, are we just going to get that 4 times? So yeah, this is where we, you know, we start to worry. And I mean, that picture there is pretty much the same as on the bottom of the Conquest magazine page. And so, you know, it's, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, aren't we? We're just gonna have to wait and see. When I get the 5th delivery come in, we'll see how much of that picture we get. And we'll have a look through it, we'll have a look at all the goodies and see what we get. And then what we'll have to do is, when it gets to the next one, which we'll be itching to wait for, and so hopefully we can see what's in the next one, and we'll see if it's a duplicate. If it's a duplicate, that's frustrating, and it's a little bit cheap, but we'll see. And then, if needs be, I might just cancel the premium part of the subscription if it's the same thing, you know, twice. It's ridiculous. What's the time? Wow, it's 5:02, so I'm going to put my paints away. Did a little bit of painting, but we'll just switch to this camera here. So I won't get much more painting done in the next 5 minutes while we wrap up the show. It's been a nice little chill and chat. We've had another chat. It ended up being a Conquest show at the end there, but you know. 5th delivery is A2 poster. This brand new A2 poster has been commissioned exclusively for this collection and features some of the most famous Space Marine chapters to display on your wall, which is fantastic if you haven't already been painting all of your Space Marines as Ultramarines. Because you may end up feeling that you've chosen the wrong colour when you see all of these other Space Marines that you've got available to you. You had not spotted the word each. No, I mean, that's it's quite, they snuck that one in there a little bit, really, haven't they? It's a little bit cheeky. But hopefully, hopefully they'll be able to, they're going to be worth it. I mean, at £1.50 per issue, which is, my maths is terrible, but that's that's like an extra £6 a month on top of your subscription already. I mean, that's expensive. Love to get you on my chilling chats at sometimes, buddy. Yeah, that would be alright. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. You'd be stretching my tech knowledge to start with before I can join things like that. I imagine it's some sort of Google Hangout Discord thing that I have absolutely no idea how they work. But yeah, we'll figure something out eventually, and I'll have to try and get some headphones and stuff so I can hear what's going on and stuff. But yeah, we'll figure something out. Don't think they'll repeat the four different packs. No, I mean that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? I mean, if you were just repeating, you're paying somebody £6 a month. You're charging somebody £6 a month for the same thing 4 times. That would be a real kick in the crotch, wouldn't it? So yeah, we'll have to wait and see when we get the first. Well, once we get the first one, we see how much of what they've shown us we get, and if they haven't led us on. Then when we get the second one, which will be half of all of the premiums anyway, we'll see if they've just repeated it, and then we'll see what happens from there. That's correct. It's real easy. Yeah, I'm sure it is once I know how. I mean, OBS was scary to me to start with, and then all of a sudden I managed to figure it out overnight. It was ridiculous up until I was talking to Chris on the Conquest show yesterday. It was just all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I don't know how to use OBS. I don't really like the user interface with it, and XSplit is easy. And then I opened up OBS and then built all of this in one night. So it's ridiculous. It does click eventually. It just takes a few minutes to get there. Just trying to figure out how much. So yeah, we'll figure it out. It's been a fantastic show tonight, guys. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. The missus has just walked in with the girls, so I gotta go put the girls to bed in a few minutes and help her with that. And I might get some more painting done later on. I didn't plan on getting much painting done, to be honest with you. It was just more of a, chill, show off the new setup, and see if OBS is as stable as it is. And to be honest with you, think about this, right? And Wayne, you were around, a few weeks ago. My computer struggles so badly being able to keep up with the strenuous streaming. But OBS, I've had web pages open. I've been converting a video file, while I've been chatting, and my computer seems to be perfectly fine. So once we can get that new rig built, we should be able to get some amazing content done, ready to go. We'll get some better cameras, so that the quality is the same across the cameras. I know this is good enough for a face cam, especially considering I don't have it up usually for the entire show. So it's a good enough quality just to have a chat, but it's a little bit tight, you know what I mean? I usually have it a bit wider, and it's usually more like that, whereas now it's a bit intimate for my liking, so we'll see. Alright, Viking, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll catch you later. More chatty shows, please. The problem is the amount of live shows I already do is pretty much as many as I can do. So if I'm going to do live shows, more chatty shows, they'll either have to be during the day at school time, when theoretically most people are working, but it's doable, or I'd have to drop one of the shows I already do. I already do 2 shows every week and a live show every other week. And normally tonight, me and Reese would be playing, you know, just us. You know, she's still a mate, and she'll come round and we'll play Kill Team off camera, and we can mess around, and we spend all night doing it. And then on the other weeks, we open it up to people to watch it. So we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, more chatty shows. If people like chatty shows, then I'll figure it out. But you might find that they're going to be maybe during the week while I'm commission painting, and they might not be regular either. But you know, feel free. That's what the comment section is for. That's what social media is for. And speaking of which, let's wrap it up actually. So yes, more chatty shows would be nice, but we'll have to have a think. Don't forget, throw them in the comments below. And we'll have a look. And if you want my social media, which I haven't done yet so far this show, in the chat, because it messes up and everybody gets annoyed by it, but in the chat and in the description below, you'll be able to find all of my social media, where you can find me, contact me, throw me suggestions. Don't be afraid, I won't bite, and quite frankly, I'd love to hear from you. And speaking of which, I'll have to wrap it up and get ready to go. The next show will be on Thursday, where I will continue on with Gabriel Seth. We'll get him done and dusted. So we'll see what we can do. Alright, so thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for watching this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Alright guys, ta-ra.